Hey everybody! When a few fishermen settled here some many years ago, their homes were often battered by the storms in the region. Each storm would bring with it driftwood which, over time, the fishermen used to make their huts, boats and a load of other things. However, each passing storm would see their huts washed away, and an uproar scream once from an elder in the town, "Damn this driftwood! Every drizzle of rain leads to the same thing," had the name take root. Thus, this place came to be known as Driftwood, for both its source as the town's origin and its calamities. This name and backstory was suggested by Victor Santiago. Victor had suggested this and had a tie in votes when we chose the name for Gizeton. As an honor to it, this town will take the name Driftwood. Thanks Victor for the name and the backstory. With that, let's get into today's episode. How's it everybody? Welcome back to the Nomasburg region. Sanctum Gamer here. It is episode 8 and I want to start off by thanking you all for the support you're showing on the series. Special thanks to everybody who has chosen to support the channel on YouTube membership or on Patreon. Your support is highly appreciated. So today we're starting off with a residential area on the other side of this main avenue. We built this back in, I think it was the last episode. So we're now working on the other side of it. And basically today I want to build kind of the first farming industry, but also a lot of residential areas. Now, if you look at any town or any city, the outskirts of it are basically a lot of houses. So we can't exactly get away from building all these houses, but what I try to do is mix up the houses and other stuff basically. So I'll try and do something kind of different from residential areas in each episode, but at the same time also incorporates the residential areas, just so that we continue to have that expansion. So in the last episode we built that what is now a cathedral that seems to be the most popular acceptance for what it should be. And in today's episode we will build the first farming industry and then surround it all with residential areas. So here we're starting off this farming industry, and what I wanted here really was to have sort of a big farm kind of on the outskirts of town, and I wanted it to look like this is like some sort of a massive farmland that was owned by somebody who just did not, I suppose, want to sell as the town was expanding. And so they've got this massive space and the rest of the town is just busy growing around it. So you're gonna see once all of this is actually complete, there's this, vast like farmland that just sits in the middle of a bunch of houses, which really was the feel that I wanted for. So I wanted this, the feel I was going for. I really wanted this farm to kind of be integrated with the residential areas on the outskirts of this town that we are building. And in a way, it kind of also gives me a feel of how I want to lay out the farms. So with this, I kind of have an idea now of, the best way to place buildings. I mean, I haven't done every single thing. It's just a small little farm. But once we actually do the large scale farms, which will probably be on the other side of the river, I think that should actually go very nicely, and it should actually look very nice from like aerial shots and all that. Because at the end of this, I think the whole area just looks, I like the way it looks. I think it looks kind of decent. So yeah, that's really the main focus. There will be these small little crop fields, and we will put down the large kind of farmlands that the industries DLC comes with shortly. So yes, again, these houses that I use, it's a theme that I'm going for. The fact that they also come pre-detailed just makes it a lot easier for me to expand the town without focusing too much on the micro detailing. And I know I'm using the same houses a lot, and it's probably going to be the case, but as we move into sort of town centers, especially this, because this is meant to be a slightly bigger town, I will play around with different sort of houses. But here, as we move closer, I'm trying to put down slightly more organized looking constructions. So usually when you see the outskirts of towns, there's a lot of planned developments that tend to take place around there. So as we move closer to this town center, I will have more planned developments kind of taking shape. So this area that you see kind of to the left middle, where all these houses are the same, the idea is that that's a planned development. And then there's just this space that's just in the middle there, which has been turned into some kind of a makeshift soccer field. Basically, people, I don't know, I guess it was like land that wasn't used, so the local kids decided, hey, let's make this into a little soccer field that we can just enjoy ourselves. So yeah, that's the gist of this area. And now being on episode 8, I actually have no videos as a buffer. So all of these episodes now I'm producing like literally the week that it's meant to be released. So I'm sitting here pulling an all-nighter. What is it now? It's Wednesday. Well, it's actually Thursday morning now, because it's like 1 a.m. that I'm recording this, just so that it can get out on time, at least for some sort of early access to my patrons. So yeah, and it usually takes me about a week and a half to produce an episode. So next week's episode 9 might have to be a scaled down version, because I don't know if I'll have enough time to actually build what I want to build. So I will probably not expand towards the town center, but I might choose to do something slightly different, just so that I can try and fit something into the episode, because I don't want to rush what I plan on doing towards the city center. I want to take my time a bit with that, so I might have to change plans in terms of what I do with episode 9 a bit. And then here is continuous. Wow, what in the world am I saying? I am continuing the expansion of the farm. So this is what I was speaking about, that I try to mix up when I build residential areas with when I build something different, just so that we break up the monotony a bit of just sitting and watching me placing houses for like ages. So I try to plan my camera routes in such a way that I build a piece of the farm, then I build a piece of the residential areas, then come back to the farm, and so on. Yeah, so that's my way of trying to just make it a bit easier to watch. And this area is basically just expanding the town. And instead of putting down farm assets, I thought I would use some of these tree assets, these flower assets, to just make it look like there are some fields that are just there. And this farm is obviously quite a large scale farm. It's doing a lot of different types of farming, different types of crops. And then right here, they have some kind of an industrial center of sorts that I wanted to put here, or some kind of a factory where a lot of this produce gets, gets processed, gets stored just before it gets exported out. So that's kind of the idea behind this whole area, is that there's some kind of factory, work going on here. There's a whole lot of trucks, and once all of the processing is complete, these trucks will basically carry these out and then ship it out to the rest of the region, the rest of wherever they need to go. I had wanted to say something else now. I completely forgot. Anyway, so yeah, all we'll be doing here now is just doing some detailing around the place just to make it come alive a bit. And I wanted to just quickly talk about Tando, right? So being on episode 8 of Nomasburg, those of you who have been watching my channel for a while will know that every 10th episode I do a cinematic overview, and then I take a bit of a break just to recuperate, rejuvenate a bit before I continue. So since we're so close to the cinematic episode with Nomasburg, I will see this through. So next week will be episode 9 of Nomasburg, and then the following week will be the cinematic overview of everything we've done so far. So that's where I'll try and show the map in its entirety. So for everybody who's been wanting to see the whole map, you can look forward to episode 10, where I'll have all of that. And then once we're done with that, I will take a bit of a break, because really not having any videos, as a, pre-recorded, it makes it really tough recording all of these, then having to complete the editing, everything within a week is just too much. So during my break, I'll also take some time to pre-record some videos, and when we come back, it will be City of Tando episodes. So I will take the time to do some City of Tando builds, so you can look forward to City of Tando coming back. I don't know what timeline, maybe a couple of weeks after the cinematic overview of Nomasburg. And then here, this is what I was talking about, that we're gonna start seeing a few more planned development, or not a few, actually a lot more planned development now as we move closer to the city or the town center. I don't want to call these cities because they're like small. At least in my mind, these are all small little towns that I'm building. And this circle here to the left, somebody left a comment in one of my previous videos saying, I should have a nice big circle somewhere in this town. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So that's why I have this massive circle. Well, I'm saying circle, roundabout. This massive roundabout here is to kind of try and do something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it will shape up in its entirety, but we'll see as the future episodes come along. This is why I don't want to also rush episode 9, because episode 9, I am meant to be working, a bit more in this area. So I want to take my time with it and plan it out nicely. So whoever you are that gave me that idea for the big circle, thank you very much. I am definitely doing it. And yeah, so now we come into the end. Again, as you can see, I've not been able to record as much as I normally do. This video is like quite a few minutes shorter than my usual ones, but we'll make up for that in future episodes. So yeah, here I just figured I'll leave this place kind of empty, bushy. You can see it as all these rocks made this place not too conducive to construction. And yeah, dirty up this road a bit. We'll put down a few European styled houses in this little triangular area. Again, just playing around with these European buildings to see if I can work with this quite nicely as we go towards the town center. Alright, so that's it for this episode. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And I guess I shall see you all in the next one. Cool. Cheers.